August the 1st, 2020. Guys, you're looking at current satellite images of Hurricane Isaias right over it. And you can see Florida to your left. What has happened is it came across the main Bahama Island here, right there. It encountered wind shear that was coming from the bottom of the screen going to the top from south to north. And it started stripping away some of this upper level clouds. And so the coloration you're seeing in the yellow to orange is the top of the clouds at higher levels. And then the light blues and greens, that's surface level. And when that happened, it exposed the very center of the storm. And it's not wrapped very well right now because, again, when you encounter an island, it's not just the wind shear, but that will cause it to slow down. And it did about 5 miles an hour. But what you got right in the center of that, guys, is 80, 85 mile per hour sustained winds, and then gusts are higher than that. So that's going to be the most dangerous part. And now that it's free from any land until it comes ashore in Florida and skirts the edge, all it can do is strengthen. It's getting into that section of the Gulf Stream itself that moves up along the coast, and that's going to help it to strengthen. You still got this upper level wind shear. But if you remember, guys, this morning we were looking at the Lauderdale beach cams. It was windy, but it wasn't raining that hard. And earlier today I checked it, and one of these rain bands right there were coming in pretty good. So you guys got some rain, but it's clear in between that. And that's going to tighten up, though, so be careful with it. People came back out on the beach in the last images, and we're windsurfing and surfing and things like that. Just be careful of that rip current. But what we got is a very close model to what the Canadian model was talking about here. And just depending on how much this thing turns to the north will determine where along the coast of Florida that it starts to skirt. And it looks like a lot of it's going to keep part of the storm into the water, which will give it some feed on moisture and heat, and the other half through the coming ashore. And earlier in the first video, we talked about it going down to a tropical storm because of that. But as the models have slightly moved to the right, now it looks like it's going to become a hurricane until it comes ashore up into the Carolinas. But again, very good images of what we're seeing there. It's not wrapped very tight yet, but notice the actual size of the outer circulation. So if it starts to wrap itself again, it's going to create a lot more rain. But you're already getting the winds, and let's take a look at that webcam. Again, this is Lauderdale by the Sea beach cam from EarthCam, and you can see the skies are definitely different, and the beach is wet, and some of the rain that was coming in had the trees bent back pretty straight, and a lot of moisture coming down at that time. But you're kind of in between those bands. You can see one coming in now. That's what's going to be going on. Now, the bad thing about it, it's not going to be long. It is 3:34 here, so it's 4:34 p.m. on the East Coast. And it's going to get dark early because of how overcast it is. So just be prepared and keep your heads down on that. Let's take a look at a couple of models. Now, this was updated at 4 p.m. Eastern, which was 35 minutes ago. What we have, and the white model, which is the TABS model, TABS, still, of course, that it's the far left extreme of where it's going. But what we do have is the Canadian model coming in down closer to Miami. But it looks like it's going to turn more to the north and may very well match the Navy model right there. Now, let's look at the predictions also on the timing and the possible cone. But notice a lot of things are tightening up here. The Canadian model has it coming ashore in South Carolina. The other models, including the Navy model, are along the Carolina and North Carolina border along the ocean there. Now, this was updated at 2 p.m., guys. It's a little older update, but like I said, the difference between this morning was that the storm was going to skirt the Florida coast here. About this area, it was going to be downgraded to a tropical storm, remember? But now it's not a tropical storm until it's coming ashore. And in other words, you can see the center of circulation. So it could be 75 or 80 miles an hour as it approaches shore. We're just going to have to watch it because that's some very warm water in that section. But even as it's coming ashore, 70 mile per hour tropical storm is very powerful. It's in the upper ranges. So you're going to, depending on how much of this rewrapping of the clouds it can do between now and Monday morning, will depend on the amount of moisture. But guys in Florida, you got to get through this first. Notice you're very close to the Georgia, Florida line tomorrow night and going into Monday morning, right into that area. But right now, they're saying at 8 p.m. we'll be here. And we're very close to that point already. And again, it would be 4:30 p.m. on the East Coast now. Up to 80 mile an hour storms, it skirts the entire Florida coast. Now, the hurricane warnings are not out into South Miami and down along the Keys. Tropical storm warnings are, but the hurricane warnings pretty much match where this cone is showing it coming ashore. Now, as the hurricane came over the Bahamas, notice it slowed down by 5 miles an hour, and that's natural. That's what they do. But that could re-strengthen very quickly. And you can see that it's saying by 8 p.m. tonight it will be back up to 80 miles an hour. Movement northwest at 12 miles per hour, 990 millibars pressure. Guys, we'll be watching it, and if we get a critical update, I will do something later in the evening. We'll see what the 8 and 9 o'clock reports show. But all of these links are on our website at bpearthwatch.com. Guys, just keep your heads up. Be safe.